Hey guys, it's Brendan Borman back for another 270 video. Today I'll be looking at Woodrow Wilson, talking about the update he just received inside the 270 game. I'm also going to be giving a sneak preview of the candidate coming next week, Larry Elder. And I'm also going to be talking about Crooked Cuomo, the brand new all negative candidate inside 270, comparing that candidate to Sarah Palin and talking about who I would rather be. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more great 270 content. So this is Woodrow Wilson before the update. He did have a 10% bonus in the African American category, as well as 10% bonuses pretty much across the board. High tech, Latino, oil and gas, that really helped him out in California. Of course, manufacturing base helping him in Texas. So he's really versatile, as well as a 10% Old South bonus. He didn't really have a huge national group, which did hurt him in 1v1 play, as well as multiplayer, but he can play to Texas and California. But his 25% negative in agriculture was only negative. And whenever 270 reanalyzed Woodrow Wilson, there were quite a few changes that took place. So if we can look at the new version of Woodrow Wilson, his oil and gas is a 20%. His agriculture actually flipped from a negative 25 to a positive 25. He got a boost in manufacturing as well as Old South. So he does have a little bit more starting options in the Old South, as well as a 10% swing state bonus. But the negative 10% African American is really the point I want to talk about the most. So Woodrow Wilson, by most accounts, was considered a racist, and 10% may not be quite enough. If you were to ask me, it's hard to judge African American bonuses across all different eras when looking at different presidents and different potential presidents, but at least 270 did recognize that he needed to have a negative 10%. Now the 10% bonus that he does have in Town and Gown, at least that's not a super high bonus. I don't think of Woodrow Wilson as a New York candidate inside the game. So although he is very versatile, Woodrow Wilson is not like a top 10 candidate, but I could definitely see adding a good vice president to Wilson. You can always negate that African American penalty. Maybe someone like a Frederick Douglass, who you can even boost that manufacturing bonus a little bit more, negate that African American. That might be an interesting vice president. Of course, one of my favorite VP combinations is just adding Ross Perot. So you can boost that swing state bonus as well as a high tech and oil and gas. So let me know in the comment section what you think about Woodrow Wilson. Is that African American penalty too small? Is it too much? Or is it just right? The next thing I want to get into is a sneak preview of the candidate coming into next week of 270, and that is conservative radio host and potential new California governor Larry Elder. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here of Larry's stats. So we do have a neutral swing state category. So he'll get 100K, which, I hate when people have negative swing state attributes. So unless they are extremely justified. So in this case, I'm a happy camper. But that 35% oil and gas, that is definitely going to be tasty. So Larry, of course, has ties to California, and he is an outspoken anti-global warming and environmentalist. And I could definitely see where they wanted to give Larry a pretty beefy oil and gas. Now, this could open the door for other Republican candidates like George W. Bush or some other, stronghold conservatives to maybe have a little bit bigger oil and gas bonus. And really in a multiplayer game, if you give Larry a vice president that boosts the oil and gas and maybe a couple national groups, that can be really tough if they go California or Texas. So we'll get into the rest of the bonuses here. 10% ag and manufacturing Not a deal breaker if Larry doesn't build through Texas. 20% Old South definitely has that as an opening option. And then a 10% African American bonus as well. So, any Republicans that have either a high tech bonus or a African American bonus are definitely more versatile than the ones who do not. But Larry has a negative 25% penalty in the high tech category. When you combine that with a negative 20% town and gown, it's really tough to build out of New York. He also has a minus 10% penalty in Latino, which might be a little bit light. Larry is very outspoken in several political areas, and minorities, maybe not his strongest suit. However, he is definitely pro-trade, and so I can definitely see where the 30% export bonus does come in. And then when you look at his national groups, plus 30% big conservative, plus 35% evangelical, definitely pro life, pro the church. And so 35%, that's really high, but I could see that as a strong suit for Larry. And then 25% gun lobby. Now he does have some pretty big penalties, 50% penalty in labor and environment, and minus 50 in women's movement. So getting the Andrew Cuomo treatment. And then the national groups for the primary bonus, he does have plus 40% right to life, plus 30% conservative media, and then 10% for the big business. So overall, Larry Elder on the candidate model by Alex Eastman comes in kind of in that range by Ben Carson, ironically. So another conservative right next to Ben Carson and Gina Raimondo. So kind of the tier candidate that we see Larry kind of fitting in for 270. But again, in that comment section, let me know what you think of Larry, if you would change anything, and are you excited to play as the potential California governor? All right. And then finally, this week, we finally got the first all negative candidate inside 270. So I've been talking about it. Andrew Cuomo, aka Crooked Cuomo, came out with complete negative attributes. He had negative 5% in all of the Democratic strongholds, like African American, high tech, town and gown, which again, 5% is not a deal breaker. It's practically zero. So when you're talking maybe like $5,000 per turn, of course that can add up. It just makes the margins that much more difficult. In pro players or players that are taking this game very seriously, it can be fun to handicap yourself and play against someone in the lobby and take them down as an all negative candidate. So I can see what the appeal was. The lounge called for it, and we finally got it. But when you stack up Crooked Cuomo to Sarah Palin, Alex Eastman's model, surprisingly, the stats don't lie. Alex says, and by the model, that Crooked Cuomo is a stronger candidate than Sarah Palin. And some of the deciding factors, obviously the 100K bonuses, but really the lack of bonuses that Sarah Palin has. She's got ag, and she's got, a very, very small manufacturing bonus. But there's tons of penalties. And while there are tons of penalties, obviously for Crooked Cuomo, everything's a penalty. A lot of his penalties are pretty small. So if you can get that swing state bonus, if you can get, Old South African American finish off Oasis, or if you can really build out of New York and get all of those Democratic bonuses, then actually Crooked Cuomo is not that bad of a candidate. I mean, he is bad. Sarah Palin is even worse. But come on, Lounge. Someone needs to come up with a Crooked Cuomo versus a Sarah Palin tournament. I would totally join. I don't know which side I would be. But again, if you have one side or the other, let me know in the comment section which team you are. Are you hashtag Team Crooked Cuomo, or are you hashtag Sarah Palin? One last thing before I let you guys go. My classes are starting, my history classes. Again, this time next year, I will be a history teacher in middle school and then potentially high school as well. And so my schedule is about to get very, very busy. I'll be taking 4 accelerated classes, plus working 40 hours a week at the college that I recruit for, plus being a dad and everything that goes with this. So while 270 is a great hobby, while I appreciate all the support that you guys have shown me through YouTube, my video output may take a dip for a little while. So just know that I am behind the scenes working with 270 on candidates, on ideas to make the game better. We even talked about with the owner today, a potential badge system coming to the game where maybe you play 100 games and you get a little icon next to your name that shows that you've played 100 games. Or maybe even like a negative badge where if you forfeit certain number of matches in a time period, you have a big red F next to your name. So someone knows, oh, this guy's a forfeiter. I may not want to play this guy. So it's an easy way, it's a free way that 270 can kind of work with the players. And I'm excited that they've been reading that feedback message. Don't forget to support the game. I know not everyone can afford to buy candidates or buy a subscription. A subscription really is the way to go to help out the game. But right now, to kind of help boost the rankings and the ratings in Google and Apple Store and Android, if you leave a review and just tag 270 or send a screenshot to the feedback message, you can be rewarded with a prize. We want to get those rankings up, get this game more popular. It's not really political peak season, but when the game does become more popular, we want this to kind of hit the ground running. And tell all your friends about this channel. I would like to collaborate with some of you guys in future videos. You can hit me up on Facebook. Of course, I'm Brendan Borman inside the 270 Lounge and at 270 Videos on Twitter. Anyway, until next time, this is Brendan Borman, and I'll catch you guys in the next 270 video.